The best Madden 26 players are using 5 secret offensive tricks that they're trying to hide from you because it keeps having them rank in the top 100 and winning every tournament they play. I started using these tips and immediately became the #1 seed in my CFM, so I know the same thing can happen for you, so long as you actually implement all 5 and don't skip out on any of them. Let's jump right into it. The first thing I want to break down is actually a glitch route that's going to destroy every defense in the game. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Alright, so that route here is going to be the stemmed down post route. So we're going to put DK on a post. We're going to stem the route all the way down. This is best for bunch formations, and what you're just going to notice how it doesn't matter if it's man or zone. This route is going to do a great job of creating separation and getting open. So we're going to take the snap right here, and we're going to step up in the pocket, and you're just going to notice how right there they're in zone coverage, and that route is now going to be wide open on the sideline. The reason why, if we take a look at the replay, is because he breaks way earlier. Like, he basically breaks it 2 yards off the ball, makes his cut, and this is what allows him to get to the sideline way faster and get underneath of this, outside third right here. Where this outside third, he's able to just run underneath of him and get to the sideline. If we put them in they're going to be in another cover 3 defense right here, and you leave him on a stock post route, right? Not to say that he could never get open, but it's going to take him way longer to get to the sideline, right? You step in the pocket, and by the time I want to throw that pass, is he open? Yes, but I might not have the same amount of time to be able to hit that read, versus if I put him on the post route, stem him all the way down, he's going to get to the sideline sooner, which honestly allows him to pick up more yards because you're getting him the ball sooner. So again, we take the snap, step up in the pocket, and then you're just able to see how now I'm actually able to wrap that ball instead of having to possession catch it because I'm throwing the ball on the sideline. It's really, an insane route that's going to destroy every defense because now I'm going to put them in man coverage. And what you're just going to notice here is same post route, stem it all the way down, put B on a flat. And so what you're going to see right here is look at that speed boost that he almost gets off the line. Now, he created separation, we get pressured, and unfortunately, man coverage creates a lot of bumping for both teams. And so sometimes that can work against you on offense here. But we're going to see if we can put them in a kind of defense here, and we're not going to have them blitz us. But we're going to put them on a post. And we're going to always use your other routes, like your zig route to your tight end is a good one. But DK, once again, going to create that separation, and then we're going to be able to throw that pass. Sometimes, obviously, man coverage creates a little bit of a fluke, so sometimes he'll be able to create more separation than other times. But, we put them in cover 1. That's also why it's important to have your streak on the field to run off the deep zones, whether it's man or zone, because cover 1 also has that zone. But you're going to see how now we're just going to try to freeform that over the top. Aaron Rodgers puts it on the money, and we're able to complete that pass. So doesn't really matter if they run man coverage or zone coverage. This stem down post is going to be able to get to the sideline way sooner, create separation pretty often against man, and then get to the sideline faster against zone coverage, which makes it one of the most unstoppable and underutilized routes in the game right now. Alright, so the next tip that's going to absolutely transform your offense here in Madden 26 is actually going to be improving your pocket presence. Too many players I coach just drift too far back in the pocket and it messes up their entire passing game. Let me show you how to improve your pocket presence right now. Alright, so again, it doesn't really matter what play you're calling, what formation you're in, what playbook you're even in. Every single time you drop back to pass, you need to make sure you're having good pocket presence, because I'll just put some random route concept in the field right here. But if I drift too far back, you see how I get sacked, right? They not only did they blitz us, but when they blitz us, I'm going to have them blitz, right? We're just going to put them in DB sting, where they're blitzing their whole team, basically. If I do what I did on that last play, drift too far back, I'm going to get sacked. It's going to be 2nd and 21. But if I do this, even if I get sacked, right, I'm going to take a sack right here. Because I step all the way up, that is now 2nd and 12 instead of 2nd and 21, right? They hit us with a surprise blitz. I didn't see the pressure coming. That's certainly going to happen to everyone when they play. I don't see the pressure, but yet I'm still able. It's not a horrible play. It's just almost like an incomplete pass. We only lost 2 yards. We're still good to go on 2nd, 3rd, and 4th down to move the chains. But really, when you drift too far back, that's totally out the window. You take these horrible sacks. But also, when you go through your read progression, because here's the thing, I'll show you the same tip I just showed you in the last segment where we have our stem down post route. Well, the difference is if I drift too far back in the pocket, by the time I want to throw this post, like, now that's a horrible read, and I mean, luckily DK's huge, but that's a horrible read. That guy's completely covered, and so that's just going to be an incompletion all the time. That's just bad offense. And so really what you need to do to cancel your drop back and have good pocket presence is take the snap and flick the left stick up. Baby tap it up. Now you're going to see how my pocket presence is way better, and I'm better able to throw the ball down the field. You see how that post route is now going to be open on the sideline, and it's going to be an easy completion for me to be able to hit. So, I mean, it doesn't matter the coverage they run, the formation you're in, the plays you're calling. You need to make sure that you're canceling your drop back. You also see how that allows for me to play more in rhythm on offense. I see my tight end zig routes open, and the ball's not going to be in the air for as long. So, again, we go through it again where this time I drift too far back, and now by the time I go to throw my tight end route, he's able to break on that pass and not get away. So we gain 0 yards versus in the last play, I hit it in rhythm on time and we pick up a first down. So improving your pocket presence really is the secret to improving your offense here in college football 26. Again, boom, they blitz, we see the blitz, and so we know that we have to get rid of the ball on time, obviously trying to throw to a guy who can create separation. But the best way to improve your pocket presence is to come here in practice mode. Again, this is if you've never played the game, you've never even known pocket presence is a thing. If you put the ball at the 1 yard line, you're going to have no choice but to step up, because if you drop back, you're just stepping out of the back of the end zone for a safety. So it's going to teach you that muscle memory of actually stepping up, canceling your drop back, and making your reads down the field. Boom, you're able to see how they blitz us. I'm able to find my guy in rhythm and pick up a first down simply because I have to work on my pocket presence. I don't have a choice but to have really great pockets. So really, that's what it is. Take the snap, cancel your drop back, step up in the pocket, and hit your reads down the field. And don't really worry about drifting too far back, because you want to make sure that you're stepping up, hit your reads on time, and find guys open down the field. It's going to make your pass blocking a whole lot better, and it's also going to allow you to find more guys down the field. So cancel your drop back, take the snap, flick the left stick up, and you're going to see your passing offense take flight, be way better. All right, so if you found those first 2 offensive tips helpful here in Madden 26, make sure you go down below, hit that subscribe button. I break down Madden 26 tips and tricks every single day, and you don't want to miss out on any of the content that I have. But if you want all 5 of these tips in written form to save on your phone so you can always pull them up and reference them during gameplay, you never have to go survey to a video, go to the link down below in the pinned comment, join Madden University, where your first month is only going to be $1. It really goes through my full written breakdowns for the month of May and beyond. And the best part is, again, it's only $1 to try out. So what are you thinking? Go down below, join today, and transform your game. But let's jump right back into the video. Because the next secret trick that all the top players are using is they have a play that can beat every defense. They're not worried about reading the defense or anything. They're just calling an everything beater. Let me show you the best one right now here in Madden 26. Alright, so we're going to have them in a random defense here. This play is going to be motion cross post from Gun Bunch X Nasty, alright? All we're going to do, we're going to put X on a shriek, and we're going to take the snap, because now we're going to bring this guy in motion, and so we're going to see how, it doesn't matter. We see man coverage, and so when you see man, you're looking for that running back right out of the backfield, right? That little backwards flat. The reason why is because it's glitched against man coverage. And they can't keep up with it. The faster your running back, the better. But you're going to see right here more man coverage, and then you're able to see how, once again, absolutely no chance, for them on defense to be able to cover that running back route. And obviously, you have a guy who can actually spin, make skill moves after the catch. I mean, you're just going to be able to turn that into a really big game. So we bring our guy in motion. They've been in man coverage. Now they're going to be in zone, where they're going to be in cover 2 on that side. And so we're just going to be able to hit our wheel route once he runs over the top of the flat zone. So, I mean, that's really what it is. You're going through, the 1, 2, 3 read progression, identifying their coverage after the snap. Right here, obvious cover 3 look, and so we see that outside third running up the field. So we're going to be able to throw that pass right there and turn that into a really big game. So you see how the thing with an everything beater is you never really want to take a sack. that's kind of the goal when you're calling this type of play. You're able to see how really bad pursuit angle by number 34 right there, and so we're able to turn that into a touchdown. So that's really what it is. You're never taking a sack when you're calling a play like this. You're simply going through your read progression. Your first read should be your flat, so your drag or your running back crab route, and then you're looking for your wheel if they're in cover 2 or cover 3, and then you might look to your tight end post over the middle of the field, just like that. I think I probably have my running back right there out of the backfield, but you can see how that tight end post is very useful. So you really have 4 pretty good options. If a man follows, it's probably a good man coverage tell, but you're just going to see how Warren right there on that little, running back backwards flat, going to do a great job, like I said before, against man coverage, and it's going to be really hard for them to defend. So you're able to see how this is one of my favorite everything beaters in the game, because it's literally able to beat every defense in the game. You have a lot of options. If they switch stick or user your crab route, which I've played a lot, that seems to be an answer that they have, is they try to just user the crab route. So that's why you have to go to your drag or go to your tight end post. But you're going to see how right here, another they were kind of in match coverage there, but you see how the drag is a pretty reliable option. You're able to turn that into a big gain. So I don't think I've taken a sack. I think almost every play has been a positive gain for us. And so that's exactly what you're trying to get here when you call this play in the game. You can also step up in the pocket. Probably my first sack right there. Had my wheel route open. So you can step up in the pocket, hit your reads. Sometimes you can even look up the seam to X to DK. Right, boom, right there, possession, catch that pass. Probably could have rat caught it and scored, but that, you guys get the gist with that. It's an everything beater. It's able to beat every defense. Really no negative plays right there. Either you're going through your progression, looking to your underneath routes, your crab route or your drag, looking to your wheel route if they're in cover 2 or cover 3, and then you're looking, or cover 4 really, and then you're looking to your backside post route over the middle of the field if they take everything away. But don't take any sacks with this play, and it's really one of the best in the game. Alright, and before I jump into those final 2 offensive tips, they're going to absolutely transform your offense here in Madden 26. Make sure you go down below, hit that subscribe button. Again, I'm the only one right now breaking down Madden 26 tips and tricks just like this every single day on YouTube, and you don't want to miss out on any of the content that I have. So what are you thinking? Go down below, hit that subscribe button, and let's jump into those final 2 tips. Which that next one is going to be something that not enough players actually know how to do, and that's beating match coverage. Match coverage is one of the most useful defenses in the game, and you have to know the best ways to attack it. Alright, so we talk about beating match coverage. I honestly like to come into like a 2x2 doubles formation to do this from. It seems to be the easiest for me, but one of the best match coverages in this game is going to be cover 6, alright? And so really what we're trying to do when we see a cover 6 defense is get this flat defender to chase our routes. And so what we do here is we would have an outside receiver, we would put him on a crosser, and then we would call a mesh concept. So we would have like Austin, a really fast receiver like this, because what we're going to see is this soft squad defender, he's going to chase this crosser. Boom, he's going to chase it, and that's what's going to open up the lane for us to hit our drag underneath, because the reality is that's going to be a linebacker a lot of the time chasing him, and so it's going to be really hard for that linebacker to actually follow him all the way across the field, because what we understand about match coverage, it's zone coverage that converts into man with pattern recognition, just recognizing what route combo is on the field. And so you're going to take their aggression and use it against them right here, right, by getting this soft squad defender to chase this route, and then you're going to try to run a route right behind him, right? And so really that's why you want to have a fast receiver. I mean, you want to have fast receivers in the field at every position, but especially at your slot receiver, because a lot of the time he's going to be the guy that's getting the ball right here, right on this. You see how that bumping happens, which is a reality as well, and then you're just going to be able to kind of glide and speed boost across the field and rip off big gains simply because this defender is chasing. He's chasing this crosser across the field, versus if you don't have the crosser, there's going to be times where he just stays over here and is able to defend it. So again, you might be able to hit him, and you could hit this drag as well. But then there's also going to be times where the crosser is still an open pass, right? There's going to be times where you can still hit the crosser. So if I motion Thielen back over here and then move, or I guess do something like that. Motion Thielen out. There's going to be times where Thielen can still get open on his crosser, even though the soft squad defender is chasing him. So, like right here, where I can still throw that in the middle and complete it. So, match coverage, it's zone coverage again that converts to man. And so, if your guys have high route running, they can still run their routes pretty well. They can still create separation. But probably one of the easiest ways is just by getting these defenders to chase. So, in cover 6, cover 4 quarters, palms, getting defenders to kind of leave their spot and then running another man in that area. And then it's just going to be too late for them. So you're able to see how, again, Austin's one of our fastest receivers, and so we're able to turn that into easy completions simply because that man's too slow and he's late recognizing it. What you don't want to do against match coverage, though, is call a route concept like this, where you're just calling street corner flat. This is literally what match coverage is able to defend and it's designed to defend, because by the time we throw that corner out, you see how number 34 is already over there and breaking on that. So when you know you're playing against a match, do not call your typical zone coverage beating route concepts like street corner flat or a crosser and a streak or something like that, where you're really just trying to get these guys to chase routes, and that's how you're going to get open. Like, this is going to get guarded really well by match. As you can see, everyone gets guarded, but when you take advantage of the weaknesses of their coverages, probably which is defending underneath, once you get their defenders to leave their areas, again, just using their aggression against them, this is going to be the best way that you're going to be able to beat match coverage, time and time again, and then you're able to get into open space and turn that into big gains. So beating match coverage can be kind of complex. You can also lab up one-play touchdowns against match coverage. That's certainly a reality too, where you're using their aggression against them, but one of the easiest ways is getting guys to follow, chase routes, and then running a guy to the area that he left. Alright, and that fifth and final offensive tip that I want to break down here in this video is going to be a way to make your RPOs literally unguardable. RPOs already some of the best routes in the game, but there's actually a trick that's going to make them even better. Let me show you. Alright, so we're going to come into Gun Bunch X Nasty, and this is an example of where the hot routing RPOs is valuable, because that's the trick. You're hot routing your RPOs. This is one of the best ones in the game. There's other ones. Now, you can't hot route your receivers on every single RPO in the game, so you have to get in the lab and find the ones that you are actually able to do it from. But really utilizing a route concept like this, especially against zone coverage, because what you're going to notice is when you put flats on the field, you hot route your receivers from bubbles or, whatever they're on, you hot route them to flats. The reason why this is valuable is because Austin right here, he gets out to the flat immediately. You see how as soon as the ball snaps, he's breaking out to the flat. But this guy, Buda Baker, he's in a flat zone. But you see how he's kind of hesitating a little bit to defend the run? Just for a second, and that's what allows for Austin to get outside of him and turn that into an easy completion, right? So it's going to be the same thing. Well, they're in man right here, so when they're in man, you can also just hit like slants. That's an example where you just leave DK on his slant, you make the read over the middle of the field, but especially when they're in zone coverage, right, the flat is going to be a good option for you. Another example where, we have the slant open in the middle of the field, so you want to give yourself options, right? I would say the flat is really great against zone. The shriek to fear move in the middle is going to be great against like cover 3, right? Boom, right here, I'm just going to hit that pass in the middle where they don't have anyone defending the seam from like cover 2 or cover 3. That's really when the shriek is valuable, and then obviously the slant is going to be really great when they're in man. Also, another great route concept is putting your tight end on a crosser, putting DK on a curl, stemming it down one time, and then bringing Austin on his flat. Because now against zone coverage, you might have that open. That's kind of just a bad read right there where there's a hook zone. You probably just want to hit the flat too. That's an option, or you can hit the crosser in the middle of the field. So we bring this guy in motion again, where this is probably zone coverage. We see it, and now we can just hit that flat right there on the sideline, turn that into a first down. Right, very easy, very easy completion. If there's going to be no one out there in the flat, that's an easy read. You could also probably put DK on a shriek right here, look up the seam possibly. The seam looks like it might be open. It is when I take this to where Aaron Rodgers sails it, but the seam could be open there. So it's really just playing around with it, being really creative, right? Right here, it looks like they're in man. Yep, they are. So when they're in man, you could also just leave Fearbooth on his out, which because sometimes like right there where he's going to create that separation on that out and turn that into a big gain. So you're hot routing your RPOs. You don't always have to hot route, but you're kind of just reading it based on the look that they give you right here. This kind of looks like more man coverage, and so you probably just want to, bring him in motion, right? Yep, they're in man, easy man tell, and I'm just going to hit my slant right there in the middle and try to turn that into a big gain by speed. DK, it has 95 speed, but yeah, he's one of the worst speed boosters I've used all year, especially for being 95 speed, but you're still able to see how we're able to turn that into a big gain. So that's really the trick. Again, like I said, every RPO is not able to be hot routed in this game, but when you can find the ones that are, you're going to be able to just take advantage of those because, again, zone coverage defenders are going to be looking in the backfield, like right there, great example of that, those flat zone defenders looking in the backfield to defend the run, and then you're able to get to the flat faster, right? If they run like more of a zone coverage look like right here, they're probably just giving you the seam, like that's an easy completion, and then you could just hit your slant on the backside and get some man coverage to your backside receiver. So this is just one example from Gun Bunch tight end. I think this play is called Motion RPO Zone Alert, right? And so this is a great example of one that you can hot route and really take advantage of. But again, there's many others in the game, and you want to kind of look for those to see which ones you can actually hot route from. Alright, so if you found any of those 5 offensive tips helpful here in Madden 26, you're going to take them in your next game to help you score more points, make sure you go down below, hit that subscribe button. I break down Madden 26 tips and tricks just like this every single day, and you don't want to miss out on any of the content and tips that I have for you. But if you want all 5 of these tips in written form to save on your phone, so you can always pull them up and reference them during gameplay, go to the link down below in the pinned comment to join Madden University, where again, your first month of all my written breakdowns for the month of May is only going to be $1. It's really a no-brainer, and please don't let $1 be the reason you're still struggling to win games here in Madden 26. So what are you thinking? Join today at the link in the pinned comment, and if you want to see 5 tips to transform your defense here in Madden 26, check out this video right here. I'll see you over there. Peace.